Hey guys, welcome back. Orabomb here, bringing you another one of our live deck profiles. Today we're going to be going over the Greninja Zoroark deck that you guys saw and see me build. Now I do want to say that for this Greninja Zoroark deck, it's kind of like a test of ideas more than it is like an official deck profile, because I'm testing a mixture of ideas to see if it works together. But honestly, you could build this deck like one of two ways. You could go the Bucephalon route and build it with Naganadel. You can go the Incineroar route and like focus on actually building up Incineroars as well as the GX attack. Excuse me there, guys. You could go like the Darkrai route with Naganadels. There's a lot of different routes you could take with this deck. And right now I'm combining all the ideas together to see what we could build with it. And I do like the list a lot. I think it has a lot of potential. Like there are turns where you can hit 300 damage turn 2, or turn 3 technically, because you have to use your GX attack. But there are some crazy turns in this deck, and we're going to go over it right now. So before we get into the video, don't forget to drop a like, subscribe, share all that good jazz. Remember, that like button, and you have been getting off really well, so don't forget to hit that like button. I appreciate it. Let's go over the deck. So we're playing 3 Greninja Zoroark GX. It's a really interesting card. It reminds me of Darkrai, and you guys remember one of my favorite decks from back in the day was playing Togekiss Darkrai. So 250 HP, Dark type, tag team, basic, whatever. With the attack Dark Pulse, 30 plus 30 more for each Dark Energy on the board. So obviously you can ramp that up pretty quickly. 8 Dark Energies means 270 damage, which is about as much HP as most tag teams have outside of Wailord. Obviously 7, 6, like it's easy to rack up damage really quickly in this deck. And that's really the only attack you have to worry about. Night Unison is a GX attack, which is actually really interesting. You can put 2 Dark Pokemon, any stage, from your discard pile onto your bench. If you have an extra Dark Energy attached to this Pokemon, you may attach 2 Dark Energies from your discard pile to both of those Pokemon. So the goal is to get out Incineroars with this, because Incineroar has the ability to charge up the board. We'll go over that as we get to it. But it's weak to fighting, not as big of a deal. There's a lot less fighting type decks in format, and I guess with the addition of the Fighting Stadium, you might see a raise in Pokemon like Lucario GX, which we're going to be profiling at some point with the new Fighting Stadium. But overall, I think this deck's really, really cool. I think it's really strong. The question is it better than Bucephalon if you go the Naganadel route? Yes and no. You could probably get away with more Acerola plays, and you don't have to lose the energies when you play them, which means you don't have to play as many energies as Bucephalon does. But, excuse me, you're still tag team attacking, so it's something to keep in mind. If they knock you out twice, you just kind of lose. And then you have to, well, I mean, if you're playing it with Naganadel, you don't have to use the Night Unison attack, which is beneficial in its own right, because you can use different GX attacks in the deck. And then you have a backup attack in Naganadel. If you use it with the Incineroar, you don't actually necessarily have to use on that Unison attack, because you'll probably be playing rare candies, Littens, and even that new Incineroar that buffs up damage by 30, so you have access to that. It's a new fire one. I don't have it on me. I'm not playing in this deck, but there is another Incineroar that you could play with this card. But it's also a stage 2 deck, so you have the inherent inconsistencies. At least with Naganadel, you can play cards like Treasure and maybe even Ultra Space. But it's back and forth, you know what I'm saying? I think there's a lot of potential in this card, though. I think there's definitely ways to make this card work. Speaking of which, we are playing a 3-3 Naganadel line. So overall, just whatever, 3-3 Naganadel. Nothing too much to explain there outside of the fact that you have access to, ooh, this is reverse. It's awkward with the lighting. Man, I'm in a really glary place. Turning Point means you can hit 160 on key turns. Also, a Psychic type attacker means you can actually deal with these fighting type Pokemon that you're weak to if you ever have to fight them. So that's really cool. If you were to play this, I'd probably play more choice bands so you can Oko Lucario without having to have that boosted turn. But I think if I were to play this deck, I'd probably stick with the Naganadel route and maybe continue to play like 1 or 2 Incineroars just for the GX option. But I think I'd honestly just cut those out and play a 4-4 line of Naganadel so I can consistently have all those energies on the board throughout the game. So that's what I think I would do. But Incineroar is pretty cool too, because Incineroar gives you another attacker that's actually not bad. You're stage 2, you can pull it out with the GX attack, but if you don't pull it out with the GX attack, you have a pretty strong GX attack in Darkest Tornado. This attack does 3 more damage for each damage counter on this Pokemon. So even if you don't have a bunch of energies on board, Darkest Tornado can do a lot of damage, because if you put, I think it's 3 damage counters on yourself, yeah, you're already hitting for 160. you can put more. It's crushing punch attack. Gets rid of special energies, I believe. Let me just do this. I'm sorry guys for all the glare. Let me see if I can make this work. It's like right above me too. Whatever, I'll fix it for the next one, I think. Crushing Punch discards a special energy from your opponent's active Pokemon, so you can get rid of things like Zoroarks, DCs, and stuff like that. So you actually have a pretty decent backup attack. And if you guys don't know, the main reason why we use it is because with this ability, you're going to put 2 damage counters on yourself and attach 3 energies from your deck to this Pokemon. 3 dark energies. So it's a good way to accelerate energies onto yourself. Other Pokemon we're playing, one of the Dene. We already went over the Dene, but it's the new Shaman. When you play it onto your bench, you may discard your hand, and when you play it from your hand onto your bench, you may discard your hand and draw 6. Extra draw for extra consistency. 1 Marshadow for hand disruption. 1 Darkrai GX because it gives you that extra buff and damage. Now, another thing that I've seen other decks play in Japan, which is an idea I probably do myself if I wasn't playing Incineroar, is they played a 1-of Koga. The Koga, I forget the full card's name, but Koga means you can poison confuse your opponent as a supporter card, and then they use Dead End GX for an immediate knockout, and it's easy to set up because you get the ability, which will attach it, put this from the discard pile onto your bench, and then attach an energy to it. Manually attach, maybe use an energy switch, and then use the Koga for a Dead End GX play. It's something I've actually seen a lot of decks do, and I kind of want to try it out in my next build. Something to keep in mind. I think it's really, really cool. You just probably play more Darkrai's. 2 or 3 Darkrai's could be enough because you have to understand that you're going to fill up your bench with like Nagas, this. It's kind of like a, I need to push for that extra damage. You're going to have these on your bench probably. And of course you play 1 Lele for consistency. But that's it for the Pokemon line. If you guys are interested and want to see me play this deck again, but with the things that I've mentioned, like the way I personally want to play it, let me know in the comments and I could actually rebuild and do a match with it. Let me know in the comments. I would actually love to do something like that. As far as the items go, just kind of like standard stuff. Let's see if I can get it away from the glare. 4 Ultra Ball, 4 Treasure, 2 Nest Ball, and 3 Acro Bike. Standard stuff. How to make cuts for specific things. I'm playing 2 Energy Switch. I've been really liking Energy Switch in this deck just to get you to consistently attack with Naga and Adels. I mean with this dude, Greninja Zoroark. So. I personally think I would even play more of these, especially if I do plan on playing the Darkrai strategy I mentioned earlier. Maybe 3 or even 4 could be really useful because this is just a really good card to have throughout the game. Also, not to mention, sometimes your Pokemon are going to get knocked out, so it's nice to move those energy off of them and put them onto something else just to make sure that if they do get knocked out, you don't lose as many energy. Obviously, there's cards like Experience Share you can throw in here if you're worried about that, but I don't know. I don't think, I mean, you could play Experience Shares. I don't see anything wrong with that. I think I'd prefer to play Choice Bands if I were going to do the route that I mentioned earlier because of the fact that I want to be able to OHKO fighting stuff. As far as stadiums and supporters go, do I have any tools to talk about too? I don't think I do. I don't think there's any tools in this deck. Yeah, alright, cool. Well, as far as supporters go, we are playing 2 Viridian Forest. Way to discard, thin your hand, and get more dark energies. 1 Black Market means that if you're a dark Pokemon with a dark energy attached to it, they take 1 less prize. So you could force your opponent to only take 1 prize or 2 prizes off of Greninja Zoroark. So that's actually pretty interesting in its own right. You can force your opponent to a position to still have to take 3 knockouts, even though they knocked out 2 tag teams. So that's pretty cool. As far as supporters go, it's fairly simple. 4 Cynthia, 4 Lily, 4 Guzma, and 2 Acerola. Nothing too complicated. It's actually, like, the less complicated the better. There's nothing else I could really think about playing. Maybe like more draw support like Erica's or something. But I haven't really needed the draw support, especially with cards like Acrobike. And you already play like 10 Ball Search cards, right? So, and you played the Dene and you play Marshadow. There's plenty of like consistency in this deck already. No need for us to play any cute supporters like Giovanni or anything like that. Of course, you could always play 1 Rainbow Energy, maybe 1 or 2 Rainbow Energies. If you play 1 or 2 Rainbow Energies, you have access to a different GX attack, a couple different GX attacks. You could play Dedene's GX attack, and if you want to, and you can put things in range, you could play something like Buzzwole Pheromosa's GX attack, and use this GX attack to take big knockouts. Something to keep in mind. And as far as energies go, lots of energies. Although not like 15 like Bucephalon plays. We are playing 4, 8, 12, 13 energies. 13 seems like a lot. I think I don't think you really need 13 energies. I think you can get away with 12, honestly, if you want to play the whole other strategies I was mentioning earlier. Just because, like, if you have Viridian Force, it's easier to get the energies out anyways, and you're disrupting a lot, and you're discarding a bunch of energies. As long as you can find them, that's all that really matters. So I do like this deck a lot. I think there's a lot of potential here. So let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Answer the comment question today for a chance to win a couple codes, being yes or no. Do you want to see me play it again? Keep in mind that, like, I will eventually play it again, but you telling me yes means I'll just probably do it sooner rather than later. So let me know in the comments down below. Don't forget to drop a like, subscribe, share all that good jazz, and I'll see you guys tomorrow with a Muck tag team. Yeah, peace.